I made a video a month ago about a popular influencer on Instagram. I had numerous sources contact me about this guy, which led to me making a video about him. I've always been fair and give people the chance to defend themselves, so he joined me for a quick conversation that I know you'll enjoy. I have Branden Condy with me. I made a video about you, calling you a scumbag, so I'll let you have first response.
My guy, what's going on? It's good to finally meet you, but I wouldn't say scumbag. I'd say asshole. But as a boss, sometimes you got to be a little bit mean to run the companies.
Understood. So I think the biggest thing I had with you is seeing all these articles written about you. And there were videos where you said you were like middle class coming up, and then an article that said you were homeless, and then all of a sudden you were a multimillionaire. So I just felt like there was a lot of like false advertising or false marketing. And so I'll let you address that.
I mean, I don't really know how to prove like the homelessness. I don't know if it's showing you guys like lack of house, right? It's how I came up.
In regards to those press releases, I am curious, were they paid for? And if they were paid for, how much do you normally pay to have like all this press written about you?
So obviously, like we're on this call on the Zoom right now because you obviously made a video about me as well. And I had no idea who you were. So there are a lot of articles out there that I have no control on, but I have paid for marketing in the past. I have paid for my blue check mark. Like we're gonna get into that as well because it's all marketing. If you don't pay to get yourself out there, who's gonna know of you? There's a lot of people that will come on here and make videos and say, he's a scam, he's this, that, and the third, he buys press, he does that. But if you don't grow, who's going to know about you? You think you're just going to make a story post, you're going to grow organically? Everybody wants to do it backwards. They want to build a business, have the perfect product, the perfect system, in life. It's never going to be fucking perfect. I'm sure, you're a business owner as well, and you're doing some real estate stuff. So, you got to build your brand first. By the time you figure out what product and service you're going to sell, if you already have a brand, you can make one story post and have thousands of people to come buy from you. Because at the end of the day, it's marketing and sales.
Yeah, I for sure agree. Yeah, and I do respect like that angle of like investing in yourself, investing in the marketing of your social media brand, because I've seen what type of revenue you can drive if you just have eyeballs on you and then you sell a product or service. One thing I did want to bring up to you is one thing I've been trying to do better at right now in 2023 is I want to reach out to the people before making a video on them. And I saw that you had actually blocked me before I made the video, before I released the video. So I wanted to see what happened there.
Yeah, it's just at this point now in my life, it's just comical. So I saw, and I got a few screenshots. I guess you're reaching out to, my sphere of influence, and you were asking or trying to get more insight on me. And at the end of the day, I'm so confident in myself, and what's understood doesn't have to be explained. So I was just like, oh my God, here comes another hater. I don't even want to explain myself. But you put the video out, you got like 60, 70,000 views. It did affect my business because you called out. I had some issues with the ex-girlfriend in the past, so that got blasted. That got turned into something that was very bad, then scammer. So some clients that just got started, like, yo, what's going on? Or some clients that were about to join my e-com company, they saw the video and they didn't join. So, this video that you made did cost me, a few $100,000 and a lot of headaches and time and energy wasted.
Okay, so back to the video. I made a claim that you didn't own the penthouse in Miami, and I think, I can't remember if it was your words that you said you owned it. However, it was somewhere, maybe in a press release, where you were the owner of a penthouse. And so do you own the penthouse or do you not, or were those your words?
So I never said that. I do not own a penthouse in Miami. I do rent, and I have a very beautiful penthouse that I live in, though.
I did say that in the video, that you do have to be making pretty good money to live in the penthouse, because it is nice.
It's very nice, but I do own other real estate.
In the video, I allude to the fact that you say you like own this e-commerce brand, and kind of my like macro level view of you is that you were a guy who kind of claimed that you ran these Amazon businesses. My interpretation was that you were just an affiliate and that you didn't really run the business. You were just kind of this guy on Instagram with a big following, and you said, hey, go buy my e-commerce store, when you were just an affiliate. And so I want you to touch on that a little bit.
No, I get it. But, everyone has a role in a company, right? You look at Jeff Bezos, you look at Amazon. You think Jeff Bezos is in the factory right now, boxing up things? Absolutely not, right? So everybody's got a role. And I know my pros and I know my cons, right? So I'm super good at marketing. I'm super good at sales. And, I do have a business partner, Muhammad, that I post everywhere on my Instagram. So, you think Muhammad's really good at making, posts and getting the attention? No, he's super good at fulfilling and making our clients money. So I'm like, yo, let's partner up. Let's come together and let's win together. So he's super good at the back end, making us money. And I'm super good at bringing the clients in.
One of the other big claims that I made is that you ghosted people after they bought a store from you or maybe some type of business service from you years ago. And so I do trust my sources, and they said things, and I said those things on video. And so I'll give you a chance to address the idea that you might have had some customers in the past that were upset and you ghosted them or did not fulfill what the service was at the time?
Absolutely. So, anyone watching this that feels like I did them dirty or I ghosted them, that's not the case. If any client felt some type of way, or store did get suspended, I reached out to them and we made sure they were happy, whether that was a partial refund or they got another store. So if anyone watching this, please let me know and let's make things right. But as my understanding, there's no one that's unhappy right now.
Yeah, one of the difficulties with that e-com business is I have 3 stores myself, and I have 2 Amazon stores that got suspended. And what I was really worried with was, number one, you had like a couple years of Amazon was like the can't miss business model, the drop shipping and all this, and all of a sudden all these gurus came up and were selling stores, and everyone can make millions with this model. And then Amazon shut down the stores, and a lot of businesses were actually pretty well run, but it was on Amazon for shutting these stores down. Walmart was notorious, platform-wide, just shut everyone down, and a lot of businesses, their customers, their stores got suspended. And I wouldn't place the blame on this guru who was on social media, but unfortunately they kind of got labeled as the scammer, right? But it was kind of outside of their hands. And that's why I try to do my best to figure out, was someone scamming someone, or was it there are a few customers who maybe got a store suspended that's not necessarily on you? And so do you feel like, was that kind of cause? By the way, full disclosure, Branden did show me a couple clients that were made whole. We're not going to share that publicly, but he made them whole. And so that might have been what was alluded to. And so I want to give you a chance to speak. Do you think that was the case with some of these people who might have been upset?
Yeah, business is always changing and you always have to adapt. It doesn't matter if you're doing Amazon, you have a car wash, it's a nail salon, it's a hair, like things change, right? So regardless of what business you're in, their problems are going to occur. And the number one thing to make things right is just have communication. I feel like a lot of other guys, that are running these businesses is, they get scared or they don't communicate, or the texts are super short and then they start taking long and then they're like, oh, this guy's a scammer, and they don't make things right.
One of the issues I have with the industry as a whole, and I do feel like the little marketing piece that I shared in my video kind of ties into this, which is you can sign up for these e-com stores and our clients are making 6 figures. And you did have a post where it was your face and I believe Muhammad as well, your business partner, and it was saying our clients make, expect to make 6 and 7 figures. And I have a problem with that because knowing the industry, I know that is incredibly rare. I have no way of verifying all of your clients over the scope of all the clients. So I'm not going to put the onus on you to try to prove to me the exact number of how many clients make 6 and 7 figures. I'm just saying from my perspective, that is an issue I have with not only the marketing that you have, but also platform wide. And so I'll give you a chance to address that marketing piece where it's saying, 6 and 7 figure earners.
Yeah, amazing. So, anyone watching this, they've been on the fence about getting an Amazon store. You should do your due diligence, right? And when you're doing your due diligence, if you go to any company, ask them to see live stores, right? So after this call, we should have looked at it before, but I can pull up live stores that are actually doing these types of numbers. And when it comes to the 7 figures, we do private label as well. It's all obviously a bigger price tag, but you got to have a bigger budget. So depending on the client's budget, we can get these stores to these numbers that we put on the funnel.
Is that 7 figures of net or is that of gross sales?
That would be the sales.
Which, full disclosure, I do believe in this model, like the FBA model, private label model. I know those numbers can be true. So I do believe that some stores can hit those numbers.
You have a few stores yourself, correct?
Yeah. I just don't love the kind of the sale of like, this is the expectation when I know how many people have had bad experiences with just the industry at large.
And as a disclaimer, like if a client needs funding, I won't take them on. And if a client needs to, they don't have the credit limit, at least 10 to 15,000, I won't take them on because I know things can happen and I don't want them to spend their last little bit of money to come and get a store and spend the expectations that they're going to change their life and they're going to be making $1,000 to $5,000 a month and they can quit their job. No, this is not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not a scam. This is just another stream to make an extra few $1,000s a month to build your wealth.
One of the other claims in the video is I allude to a possible reputation of yours of getting Instagram accounts banned. And I believe that there was an effort on your part to ban my account following the video. I was told by someone that, I'm not saying it was you because I was not given your name. However, I was told that someone was trying to get my Instagram account banned right after your video. So I will allow you to address kind of that reputation.
Absolutely. So I do not ban Instagram accounts. I've been hearing that so much. I think it's because I have the biggest online marketing brand and a lot of people want to, ride my wave. So that's the case. And I had you blocked from the beginning. You didn't even pop up on my radar. I'm not going to ruin my name or get in trouble for a few $100s or $1,000, whatever these people are doing. Because, I'm sure you get the DMs all the time. These people are sending DMs, hey, send me X amount of dollars of Bitcoin. I won't delete your Instagram. Have you got those DMs before?
No, I haven't, thankfully.
Okay. There's got to be some people watching this video that are going to have one of these DMs. So what they're doing, there's a lot of scammers online. They're like, hey, I'll delete your Instagram, $500 or da 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 da, send me the Bitcoin, and it won't happen. So I'm not doing that. I'm not wasting my time. And I don't have enough time for that.
We did mention the fact that you possibly have paid for your blue check mark, which I said in my video that you did. I'm going to give you a chance to speak on that.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it's all marketing. So I think I did that about, I think 3 years ago. And it's not that you buy the blue check mark. You buy the marketing. You put your press out there. You put yourself who you are. We're in a position, it's 2023 now, and we're really the first generation that has access to the internet. So we can perceive and we can control the narrative how we want to be perceived online. So obviously I wanted to spend money and put myself out there because nowadays more exposure is way more money. It's all about who you know. Because as soon as you wake up in the morning, right, and you check your Instagram, the first thing that you do is, Spencer, let's say I follow you after this video, and you wake up, you're like, okay, who's Branden Condy? Oh, he's got a blue check mark. He's got 100,000 followers or 1 million followers. Content's good. I'm going to add him back. Because nowadays, they're going to look at your Instagram, and they're going to make a split-second decision, subconsciously or consciously, they want to follow you back. It's so fucked up, but that's the way the world we live in. Another example is, you have a hot girl, boom, she's got 1,000 followers. Spencer, like, yo, she's a hottie. But yo, if I gave that girl 100,000 followers and a blue check mark, now you're over there trying to send her edible arrangements and slide her DMs and say, hey, come to Vegas, let's check out my Airbnbs, or let's go to this mastermind networking event, or whatever you do, right? Whatever your game is. That's just the way the world we live in now.
Fair. In my video, I make a claim that you probably make a lot less money than what you try to exemplify on social media. And full disclosure, Branden has shared numbers with me, which we won't share publicly. And so I have an idea of how much he makes, which is, I will admit, significantly more than what I expected. And so I'll let you speak about the claims that I made where you just don't make that much money.
Not keep the lights on. We do good. I showed you some numbers, and we do make millions of dollars like I do claim.
I think the biggest thing, though, with my video wasn't so much about today, because I'm not surprised that you make money when you have a big social media influence and you sell even something as like a high ticket item, like a e-commerce store. You only need a couple sales a month and you're bringing in real dough. A lot of it was more based on, I see all this marketing and this press about, from $25,000, from $25,000 a year to $2 million net worth in 6 months. And I think it was more along those lines of at the time. I was making $25,000 a month, but I have all these cars. And so a lot of it was just confusion about like what's real, what's not real. I know the game of people posting on press releases about how much money they make to try and build up their brand. And so that's where I think the issue is more with years past as opposed to today, but I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, 100%. And, for anybody watching this, like that is very true. Like I really did come from nothing. And, anyone watching this, scroll to the bottom of my Instagram at Branden Condy, put my tag below right here. That's why I show, I'm all about documentation over conversation. So that's why I even entertain this whole video, is because when you made those claims in the back of my mind, I'm like, God, this is such cap. Like I do make a bag and I did bust my. So you scroll to the bottom of my Instagram, I show where I'm from, Virginia Beach, this little skinny white guy with no tattoos. I started cleaning cars, from cleaning cars, selling mattresses, from selling mattresses to go cleaning the yachts and getting around the right people, because you are the average of the 5 people you hang around. And, I study these millionaires and I watch what they do, right? So boom, from there, getting fired because I'd spend so much time about learning about branding and, watching Grant Cardone. He's like, more exposures, more money. So that's when I was like, yo, I'm going to become an entrepreneur, but I need some money. So then bartending, growing the Instagram while I'm bartending because I got some extra cash, to learning about e-commerce and starting marketing companies. And, your life really can change if you lock in for 6 months and, you don't focus on the girls. You don't go out partying and drinking and entertaining. If you guys lock in, study, learn, grow, hit the gym, your entire life can change in 6 months. I guarantee you.
I agree. And the next conversation is one that I'm not going to rebuttal anything he says. In the video, I allude to a DV case he had. And so I'm going to let him speak on it because I'm not a party to this incident. I'm not going to say whether he's right or wrong. I'll let you believe whatever you want to believe, but I'm going to give him a chance to speak on it since it is an incident involving him.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to keep it super simple. I did have a girlfriend. I am very high profile. I have a big Instagram following. A lot of people know me. So things do happen and it's all public records. I was, falsely accused of a domestic violence case, and you guys can check it all out, but we're all good now.
Okay, good to hear. And however, in the video, I kind of joked at and laughed at this phrase you used, which was anyone can get the smoke, which I thought was it was kind of hilarious to like say to a girl, anyone could get the smoke. And so since I brought it up in the video, I'll give you a chance to speak on that.
Absolutely. So do you listen to rap music at all?
I used to. Admittedly, I have a lot less interest today. I find it to be not nearly as enjoyable as years past.
Gotcha. But that's a funny line that a lot of rappers use, like anyone can get the smoke. And that text message was from 2021. If you pull up the stamp, and you know how guys and girls are toxic and say funny things nowadays. It's the generation we live in. So that was a funny text from when I was dating that girl. Like, hey baby, you go out, anyone get the smoke, haha, joking type. So it was brought into the wrong context.
Understood. Admittedly, it was really funny looking at like very professional legal documents and then reading that. It was just like, man, I got to put that in the video. I thought it was funny.
I understand why I went that far, because from someone not knowing, looking on the outside in, it could be a threat, but it was just a funny little toxic text message to a girlfriend at the time.
Since we addressed pretty much every claim I made in the video, I feel like we talked about all the topics discussed. I'll give you a chance to speak last. Is there anything else that you feel like we didn't cover that you'd like to discuss?
No, just, I kind of want to turn this into a positive. So for anyone watching this, right, when you want to do anything in life and you want to grow and you want to go to the next level, first of all, your sphere of influence is going to, they think it's a scam. They're going to joke you, or they're not going to want to see you grow because they're scared. They don't have the confidence, and you're going to start getting a lot of haters, right? So I just want you guys to know, anyone watching this, to not worry about the haters, keep your head down and keep grinding, because it's going to happen,
I have a lot of respect for people that see something about them online and then they're willing to come on and speak to me face to face. So I have a lot of respect for you joining me here today. And so I want to thank you for doing this.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I consider myself a YouTube journalist. I think it's fair to allow someone to defend themselves after I make a video about them. Whether you like Branden or believe him after this video is up to you. Because a lot of my videos are criticizing someone, or in Branden's case, clowning on him pretty hard, I think it's only right that he deserves a chance to hear his side. I'm only as good as my sources for videos I make about people, and sometimes there's more to the story, which if you're someone who claims to be about searching for the truth, which I do, it's only right that you allow everyone involved to speak. Which unfortunately doesn't get as many views on YouTube, but I think it's the right thing to do. Thanks for watching.